31-year-old Stephan Bullis leaving the federal court building today after pleading not guilty. He was formally arraigned on charges that he maimed his wife with a mail bomb last summer. This was the scene outside the BTI building last July. 500 people evacuated after an explosion on the building's 5th floor. Seriously injured in that blast was Tracy Bullis, a manager at BTI. The bomb had been addressed to her. At first, speculations ran wild. Was the bombing linked to the one in Oklahoma City? Or was it just another act of the Unabomber? Several days later, police announced the shocking news. Tracy's husband was arrested and charged for the bombing.
I'm shocked because I just thought they were, very nice and neighbors and everything, and I just had no idea.
A week after the bombing, Tracy recovered, but she lost 2 fingers and a thumb on her left hand. She reportedly told police that Stephan had been reading books at home on how to make a homemade bomb. Court papers also revealed that Tracy told her husband a week before the bombing that she increased her life insurance for accidental death to $192,000. Stephan says he's not guilty, but reportedly admitted last summer that he got an additional $100,000 policy on his wife and also to having an extramarital affair.
Toting them around, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Tracy Bullis took the stand today and relived the nightmare of how a bomb blast tore off 2 fingers and a thumb on her left hand last July. She explained to jurors that she and her best friend Judy Harrison had been trying to open up a package when the bomb went off. She said, "I saw metal and wires at that time. I knew it was a bomb. There was a delay long enough for me to turn my head and push it away. Then it exploded." Tracy adds, "I heard Judy screaming, and I started screaming because I wanted to know I was still breathing. It felt like a hot wind, like I was getting hit everywhere." Judy Harrison, shown here being comforted moments after the bomb blast, is Tracy's best friend. Today, she told jurors she was at work with Tracy when the bomb went off. She says, "I saw a red flame and her dress caught on fire, and she was trying to put it out. All I could do was scream. I couldn't do anything." Nearly a half hour after the explosion, Tracy was taken to an ambulance and then to Wake Medical Center to be treated. Now, during its cross-examination, the defense tried to shift the attention on the bombing and onto the possibility that someone had been trying to frame Stephan Bullis. How's your client doing?
He's hanging in there.
Defense attorney Gail Adams questioned Tracy about her sister Liz Bergeron and her husband in an attempt to show that Liz, who could no longer have children, wanted custody of Caitlin. Testimony also revealed that Tracy's sister had accused Stephan of molesting his daughter. Those charges were later dropped. Are you here in support of Stephan?
Not hardly.
Are you related to Tracy? But testifying in his own defense yesterday, Bullis said he was shocked when first notified of the bombing and feared the worst. After learning his wife was injured but safe, he felt relieved. He broke down on the witness stand yesterday when he testified about the first time he saw his wife following the bombing. He said in tears, "They brought my wife out. She's always more worried about me. She looked at me. She said, 'I'm okay. I lost my hand, but I'm okay.'" But the prosecution says it is not okay, that Steve Bullis is the defendant who wanted to kill his wife because of gaining a significant amount of insurance money after her death, having an extramarital affair, and a strained marriage. Stephan Bullis showed little reaction after the verdict, but defense attorneys spoke on his behalf.
Of course, we are disappointed about the verdict, but the jury has spoken and we just have to live with that and we'll just take it from there.
Michael, how is Stephan Bullis reacting to this verdict? We couldn't see any reaction.
He's pretty devastated by it. He's always maintained his innocence from the start.
Tracy Bullis is also devastated. She lost fingers on her left hand during the blast, and her family has been ripped apart.
I'm not saying anything because of my little niece, so I have no comments.
How is your little niece?
She's fine.
Lisa Bergeron, Tracy's sister. Throughout the trial, defense attorneys tried to prove that Bullis was framed by his sister-in-law, Lisa. The defense claimed that Bergeron wanted Stephen and Tracy out of the way so she could have custody of the couple's 5-year-old daughter, Caitlin. But jurors say the prosecution proved Bullis guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Information collected from the residence, which included some wires and some insulation from bomb 1, the fingerprint from bomb 2.
It was last July when Stephan Bullis mailed a pipe bomb to his wife Tracy at the BTI building. Assistant U.S. Attorney John Bennett thanked law enforcement authorities today for the way they quickly investigated the case and solved the case.
And I most of all want to thank the men and women of the United States Postal Inspection Service who labored for hours and hours and hours and hours to do this, to put this together, to put it together professionally and well.